I may be wearing my Harry Potter earrings today, but we do not stand JK on this channel. Trans lives matter and her words on the subject do not. That's the tea. Hi, my name is Laura or King Dickens. Thank you so much for watching. Today I want to do a video showing you some of my favourite books of all time so that you can get the idea of the kind of genres and the kind of books that I like to read and the kind of books that I will be showing you on this channel. So the very first book that I'm going to be showing you today is The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. This is the first book in the Chaos Walking trilogy. In The Knife of Never Letting Go, we are following our main character. He is a 12-year-old boy called Todd Hewitt, and he is still to this day my favourite literary character of all time. Todd lives in a small place called Prenticetown where everybody can hear everybody else's thoughts. We follow him as he runs away from home because he's being targeted for finding out a secret about the town that he lives in. I just have so much love for it. I have so much love for Todd Hewitt and every character in this book. The world is fantastic. The way that the book is structured, the way it's written is so unique, and I'd never ever read anything like it before, and still to this day I still haven't read anything like this before. Phenomenal. The series as a whole is fantastic. It's one of my favourites of all time. The Chaos Walking trilogy, I would highly, highly recommend that you pick it up. That was good. The next book is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, which is the first book in the Kingkiller Chronicles trilogy. So, in The Name of the Wind, we follow our main character, Quoth. We start out seeing him as a child. He joins a band of musicians, travelling musicians, and he eventually ends up on his own in a crime-riddled city where he has to learn how to fend for himself because he is now an orphan. He eventually ends up enrolling in a university for magic where he officially becomes training. Oh my god! Ah! He eventually, oh my god, can I even speak? Ah! He eventually, am I even saying, is that even a word? He eventually enrolls in a university for magic where he officially begins his training to becoming a wizard. That's gonna have to do. This book has stunning characters with beautiful, complex friendships, fantastic villains. It's just a beautiful world. It's so well written. The writing is stunning. I think most people will say that that is their favorite part of this series, is the writing. It is so lyrical and it's just chef's kiss. It's a beautiful book. It's a beautiful story. How many times can I say the word beautiful? I just love this book. This is my second favorite book of all time. I love it so much. Where is Doors of Stone? The next book that I have to show you is The Ballroom by Anna Hope. The Ballroom is set in the Yorkshire moors in the year 1911 in two asylums that are divided by a wall, one for men and one for women. For one night every week, the patients from both the men's and women's asylum are allowed to join together for a dance in the ballroom. When our two main characters, John and Ella, meet at one of these dances, their lives take a major turn. This book is definitely not all sunshine and roses. We are following two main characters who really believe that they are not supposed to be in the asylums, that they shouldn't have ever been put in there in the first place. So this isn't just a little romance. It's dealing with some serious topics about mental health and society's views of mental health, especially in this time. I read this a couple of years ago and just absolutely fell in love with it. I think it's fantastically written. I think it's beautiful. I'd love to read more of her books soon because she actually has quite a few. The next book that I'm going to show you is Hard Times by Charles Dickens. It's so shiny. I love this book so much. That's gonna look weird in editing, but edit it. One of our main characters here in Hard Times is Mr. Thomas Gradgrind, who only believes in facts and doesn't believe in dreams or imagination of any kind. This is how he chose to also raise his children, and because of this, they've really suffered and they never really got to be kids. Hard Times is also set during the time of... Why am I pulling at my neck? Hard Times is also set during the time of the Industrial Revolution, so a couple of our characters... Hard Times is set during the Industrial Revolution, so we get to follow some of our characters living through these poor working and living conditions in the factories. Even though Hard Times deals with some really serious subjects, it's still Charles Dickens. He still makes it fun to read, easy to read, an enjoyable time. He still makes it funny and lighthearted and beautiful and gives you characters to root for until the end. I love Charles Dickens so much. Oh my Christ, I nearly broke my nail. Can't have that, can we? So the next book that I have is The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson. To be honest, anything by Jandy Nelson, I'm gonna burp. So our main character in The Sky is Everywhere is called Lenny Walker. She is a 17-year-old girl who is in love with her books, Wuthering Heights in particular, and her music. She loves them more than anything. She's just recently lost her sister only 4 weeks ago, and she feels more alone now than ever. But through writing her poetry anonymously and leaving them around town, she finds someone that may understand exactly what she's going through. I think Jandy Nelson is fantastic. I also love her other novel, I'll Give You the Sun. I cannot wait until she writes a new book. Whenever that comes, The Sun will come out. I'm so excited. I love the way that she writes about mental health. I think I was 19 at the time when I read this. So I was only a couple of years older than the main character, and I could really relate to how low she felt and how confused and how angry she felt. And I think that is also seen in I'll Give You the Sun. I could really relate to how they were struggling and how they were dealing with their issues or avoiding their issues. I think Jandy Nelson is an absolutely phenomenal writer, and I would highly recommend that you give her work a go. Last but not least, I have East Lynne by Ellen Wood. In East Lynne, we follow a young and beautiful woman called Lady Isabel Carlyle, who has just left her husband and her young children in order to elope with a man called Francis Levison because she saw her husband with another woman. When Lady Isabel finds out that what she saw may not be exactly what she thought she saw, she's determined to get back to her husband and children once again, but they may not be so determined to see her. She will find a way to get back into their life, and she will do whatever she has to do in order to see them again. I very rarely see people reading Ellen Wood's works. I love this book. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I think if you like the Brontes, or if you like, even if you like Dickens, this book is actually hilarious. If you like Dickens, I would actually highly recommend that you try this one. If you like the humour in Charles Dickens, even though there wouldn't be as much in this as there would be in a typical novel of his, it's still there, it's still present. I had so many laughs while reading this book. There are so many characters in here that I will never forget. This book honestly gave me everything that I could ever possibly want. There are gothic elements, there is murder, there is betrayal, there is love. It has everything. I love this one. So that is my little list for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have read any of these, please let me know what you thought in the comments, whether you liked them or not. I would love to have a discussion with you about them. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know why anyone watches me because I'm so annoying. All right, that's the video.